So where should I? Right about here? All right. There we go. All right, can we see? Can we see everything? There we go. Okay, hey there friendlies, it's time for our shoulder review of the Nikka single malt Yoichi. All right, so, wait a second. All right, can't leave our feathered friends high and dry, can we? All right, where were we? Yes, I don't need gloves. We're at balmy -1 Montreal degrees, -1 degrees Canadian. So what is that, like 30 degrees Fahrenheit? So you guys saw me review this, I think it was like 2 years ago. I do not remember what score I gave it. Because I've already done this, wow, okay. All right. Okay. It's gonna be a party here on the Dribs and Drams channel today. I already talked about the distillery, already established that I do not believe this is caramel coloring free. I do not believe this is a non-chill filtered. Just goosed it on my hand. And interestingly, I think I mentioned that the tag says 45% alcohol by volume, but I do believe that if I do this, is that going to come into, I hope you can see that. The SAQ has blocked that off and replaced it with a tag that says 45.5. So I guess they measured it and came up with a different percentage. So, little swirly swirl just to sort of see about the tears, because I don't really remember. I believe I was being snowed on when I reviewed this the first time as well. And when I started setting up for this, I was not being snowed on. It was a brief respite. So I ran outside and here we go. But anyways, so on the nose, I'm really hoping that the shoulder pour is going to be different than the neck pour on this, because I keep trying to see if shoulder pour versus neck pour really are as different as a lot of people tend to think. It's nice and sweet. Now this Yoichi is supposed to be a peated, and there is some peat there, but it's not right up in my face. Now granted, I haven't really stuck my nose all the way in yet, but at 45%, let's go. Caramelly goodness, obviously some American oak, brown sugar, creme brulee, green, something mossy. Something mossy. Is it a wet moss? Let me get right in there. Yeah, wet moss. Something green growing, maybe a pine forest. The smoke is... Sorry about the aeroplane, guys. The smoke is not an Isla peat smoke. There's a touch maybe of a peat smoke there, but I'm getting like the dying embers of a campfire. Misty, faint. A note floating above the base notes of the caramel and the sweets and the fruitiness. Very pleasant. So this is a no age statement, and that does come across on the nose a bit. So I'm assuming this is a 3-year. I do kind of wonder what this would smell like in a 10-year. On the nose, I'm gonna give this an 80. It's very pleasant. There's some fruitiness there. It's like a cherry or a dark fruit, like a plum kind of thing happening, as well as the caramelly goodness, the vanilla. There is some oak happening. It's not oak free. I just want to know what it would smell like with an active barrel affecting it for longer. But yeah, 80. So let's go to the palate, shall we? Charred wood. That campfire thing is stronger on the palate than on the nose. The sweetness dials back a little bit. It's still there. Still there. Definitely more of a creme brulee than a brown sugar note at this point. Slight burnt coffee in the very back. Which is interesting because, like, to me, that shows a Scotch element. That might actually be maltiness that I'm mistaking for the coffee note, because I get it a lot. There's a cereal thing happening here. The mossiness is still there. There's something foresty. It's not overpowering. It's there. However, the cohesiveness is slightly, I was going to say monking. What the hell's monking in English? The cohesiveness is missing a little bit. On an older bottle, I think this would come together really nicely. Nice and rounded. Nice and together. It's got some youthful zing to it, for sure. Scintillates a little bit at the front of the tongue. But I feel that the juice hasn't had time to really coalesce. So that's where sometimes I say something has got a youthful zing. It means it's still got the edges that haven't been rounded off by the oak yet. For taste, I'm gonna just take another little sip, shall I? Now I'm noticing a citrus, a lemony, lemon peel or something on there. There's a lot happening in here. It's very pleasant. It's very interesting. It's not very viscous. You know, there's not a lot of oiliness there. But yeah, if I'm right that they're bringing age statements back, I can't wait to taste this with some years behind it. The finish I would call medium long. It sort of tapers off to sort of the spicier notes, a little bit of pepper, like the caramel and the sort of the gooier flavors disappear relatively early. For taste, on the palate, I'm going to give this a 79. I like it. I think it's very pleasant, but it's also kind of innocuous. This tells me that it's going somewhere very good rather than it has arrived there. So yeah. So as this is a shoulder pour, so all we're counting is nose and taste, which is this. So as I always say, thank you for hanging out with me for this little shoulder review, or at this point, maybe more of a waist or a hips review. But anyway, moving right along. As I always say, if you like what I'm doing, then please do the following 3 things. 1, comment down below. Are age statements coming? If so, are you excited about it? 2, share this video. That helps me more than you could possibly imagine. And 3, leave me a smiley thumb. If you don't like what I'm doing, that's all right. Leave me a frowny thumb. Thanks for watching, guys.